So IB Designable is a new feature in Xcode that lets you make views that you can see in Interface Builder. And let's go. Hey, it worked. Okay, so custom views are really handy things to make. Here you can see a button I made, and you can't really see this in the demo, but the button tilts, like there's a little ball joint in the center, and wherever you tap it, like tilts. It looks really cool. And I wanted to make it visible in Interface Builder, so I did. And top right, that's another one that you can, another example I made. That's just a view that has a curved border and a subview with a label. So, yeah. And sometimes you put so much effort into these views, you're proud of them like they're your kids or something. And you really want to see them in all their glory in Interface Builder, rather than just an ugly white square. And it also makes you look really good when your manager walks by and looks over your shoulder and they see Interface Builder looking all schmick like this, and they think, that guy really knows what he's doing. It's totally like that. So let's go through how you can do this. Tonight, I'm going to go through how you make a designable view, how you pop it into Interface Builder, how you use a common init to configure your view in any way that it gets created, and some of the pitfalls to look out for, and how to debug them when they bugger up. And this is as simple as it gets. You just put IB_designable in your header file above your class, and that's pretty much all you need to do to kick things off. Then what you do, you drag in a plain view in Interface Builder into your Interface Builder document. Go into the custom class thing in the top right and just change the class name to whatever your class is. That's all you need to do to create a designable view and pop it into Interface Builder. And if you're lucky, it just starts rendering then and there. But I'll go into some more details so that you won't be getting this far and then scratching your head wondering why the hell it doesn't work. I warned you about the dad jokes. So here I'm talking about the different ways your view can be created. Note that when I say design time down the bottom, I'm talking about, when Interface Builder is displaying your view. So here's what happens in the 3 different instantiation scenarios. Manual's the simplest. You just call init with frame and bam, you've got an instance of one of your custom views. At runtime, nibs use NS coding, which hopefully you're familiar with. It calls init with coda, and the superclasses init with coda, it sets all the properties from the nib, such as the background color, etc. And once it's ready, it calls await from nib. Hopefully, again, you're familiar with all that. But here's the tricky one. When it comes to design time, it's really interesting. It doesn't use NS coding, which is really bizarre. It calls init with frame, after which all your nib properties get set via key value coding. So things such as background color happen that way. And then it calls a special method called prepare for Interface Builder. And in true Cocoa tradition, it's a nice long method name.
Chris, have you got any reason why they've chosen to do that over the await from nib?
Because they're crazy.
Yeah, well, that's a given.
Well, have you seen like videos from old school WWDCs where they all talk about how they were like really high when they're making this stuff? Oh, like literally? Yeah, I don't know. But apparently they really did talk about that stuff at one of the WWD sessions one time.
Well, he was there.
I wasn't there, I'm not that old.
This guy.
Oh, really?
Craig was there.
You were there?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's true.
Right, moving on to pitfall.
Okay, so I want to just emphasize this point because this is kind of the key fact that comes into why Interface Builder Designable will make you tear your hair out sometimes. It doesn't use NS coding, so just remember that. It's really odd that they don't use it, but it's just the way it is, and I'll show you how to get around it so it doesn't drive you nuts. So, here's the boilerplate I recommend for one of your designable views. This handles all 3 instantiation scenarios nicely. First method up the top, this gets called, init with frame gets called both when you make your view manually and at design time. But init with frame is no good for us at design time because if you configure, say, your view's background color at this point, Interface Builder will clobber your changes in the next step when it does all the key value coding. So that's a pitfall that got me a few times. So just watch out for that. So we've got the if-def there so that, I've lost where I'm up to. So we've got the if-def there to make sure that the comment init only gets called from init with frame when you're not in Interface Builder. So this handles the manual creation scenario. Await with nib is where you want to call comment init to handle a scenario where your view is being loaded from a nib. I guess you could split hairs about whether or not to put it here or in init with coda. I'm kind of on the fence about that, but this is less typing and it fit on my slide, so I went with it.
Less typing wins.
Less typing always wins.
Boilerplate.
And prepare for IB is where you want to call your comment init to handle the design time scenario. This gets called after all the key value coding finishes. So for instance, if you want to set the background color, it won't get clobbered by IB here. And here I want to emphasize again, you can't simply call your comment init from init with frame and cover both the manual and design time scenarios, because if you do, key value coding will clobber your settings, and your view will look different at runtime than at design time. And here's what a comment initializer looks like. As you can see, you can create subviews, you can do layout, you can do auto layout if you wanted, you can even override draw rect and go to town. So long as your view takes less than, I think, 1/5 of a second to render, you'll be fine. It really lets you do whatever you want. Now, it's not always going to work for you, so you can debug it, which is really awesome. Just select your view in the second to left column. So, I'm wireless, I think, so I can do this. That's this column here. If you click on the view there and then do editor debug, it jumps into debug mode. If you click here and then do editor debug selected views, it doesn't work. Configure. So click there. Because it's Xcode. Xcode's awesome, right? Hey, if you ever get like really frustrated with Xcode, seriously, just try Android Studio for a week. I seriously love Xcode now. It's just fixed me.
Go look at the man with no feet.